That was King of the Hill. We all love King of the... Oh, I'll tell you what, that boy ain't right. Speaking of propane and propane accessories, as many of you may well know, I'm quite a fan of Fallout. The Fallout franchise. Oh, Ewan, have you played the originals? They're like the top-down sort of isometric click and point and go turn-based combat. No, I haven't. I don't want to. They look shit. They actually look really good. It's just I could probably even get them to run on my laptop these days. They were made in the Stone Age, basically. I'm sure you could get them to run on your fucking you can play video games on everything now. You can put it on your toaster, probably. Oh, imagine that, playing the original Fallout on your toaster, a smart toaster. Oh, what else you could? Oh, on your fridge. Imagine that. Oh, go to your fridge late at night, and you just get a drink out of the fridge. It's like, and then you sort of stood there. The fridge door, maybe it closes on its own. I don't know how fridges work. I haven't had one in 12 years. And then you see the little heads-up display with a little app on it with a little like Fallout vault door gear thing, and you're like, oh, let me play some Fallout. And you press the little button and you press the app on the screen, because now fridges have screens, and you go into the world, the post-apocalyptic world of the West Coast Californian wastelands of Fallout, the original Fallout. You're there, and then your partner or a family member or your dog comes in after sunrise, maybe about 7 o'clock in the morning, to start their day, and they see you stood there with a now room temperature drink in your hand that you've abandoned the actual drinking of. You're just holding it, and you're tapping away playing Fallout, and you've been there for hours and hours. You're engrossed playing Fallout on your refrigerator. Imagine that. You could probably do that. Probably play it on if you had a smart bathtub, you could be that in there playing the original Fallout. No, imagine that. It doesn't really it looks cool, and I probably could get it to run on my laptop. You get it to run on anything these days, actually, couldn't you? You could you could probably get it on your phone. Imagine that. Imagine back in the day telling someone, I'm gonna play a video game on my phone, on my telephone. They'd look at you like you were mad. They'd be like, "Whoa, on your rotary Bakelite telephone? Are you mad? That's mounted on the wall with it's got the cable, the long, the windy, the cable and it extends. You walk around the house holding the phone that's attached to the wall. You can't play a game on this. What are you talking about? That's for communications between one household and another. Games on a phone? That's ridiculous. Not today. Not in the future. Not in the far off future of Fallout. Imagine that, playing Fallout on your phone, the original Fallout, just on the bus. You could play it on the bus. Maybe if buses had little screens and you could play video games on. But you could be on the bus, on your phone, on the bus, playing Fallout for a few minutes until you get to your destination, and then you play it anywhere. I could probably get it to work on my laptop. I tried playing. Oh, aren't I stupid? I tried playing some of Baldur's Gate 3. It looks really cool, and it is really cool. But in a similar way to when I recently was playing Final Fantasy 8 for the whole nostalgia thing, turn-based combat just doesn't sit well with me because I'm not good at it. I fucking stink. And that's the end of that sentence. Not only have I not had a refrigerator in 12 years, I also haven't had a bath or a shower in about that same amount of time. I live in a cave now, you see. I don't have basic amenities, mod cons, as they say on television shows about modern houses. I believe that means modern conveniences. I don't know what what would be considered mod cons these days, but I don't care either. It's irrelevant. I stink ... at turn-based combat games. I don't mind puzzles. I prefer word-based puzzles, Wordle and such, those kinds of things. Pictionary, it's not really a puzzle, I know, but those sorts of things. So, and I know turn-based combat isn't necessarily a puzzle, but it's close, isn't it? It's like it's strategizing and it's fucking this and it's that, and it's just not. I don't find it enjoyable. What I do find enjoyable is running around with an axe, going ha ha yeah whoa yeah sha and if that axe has fire magic that does fire damage to your enemies, then even better, even bloody better. If I get a fire axe, not like a fire axe like a fireman would use, but like a fire axe. That's an axe with fire. That's my kind of fire axe. So yeah, I'm not too sure I'd be. The idea of playing the original Fallout games doesn't really appeal. Also, I understand that they do feel very sort of like clunky and slow compared to more modern Fallout games. I think I've drawn these fingers the wrong way around. And that's another thing I do like about Fallout, the more modern games, is you run around with an axe or a gun, usually, and you blast people's fucking faces off. Oh, but they put all the effort into being able to blow people's heads up and not enough effort into the story and the dialogue and Shut up! It's fun! That's what it is, it's fun. You put it on and you go, hey, this is fun. Let me have some fun playing a fun game, that's fun. I mean, yeah, the story's pretty shit. Not New Vegas, though, it's the best one. Shut up. All of this that I've been saying for the last few minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know how long I've been recording, and I won't look, is sort of not relevant to any point I was trying to make. What I was going to say was, you might be aware I like Fallout. And then Fallout London's come out. That's where I was going with all of that. Fallout London, oh my gosh, so good. So I don't have the capabilities. Oh, I could probably get the original to play on my laptop, probably. Oh, you can play it anywhere now. If you see, they do that with Doom. You play Doom on all kinds of anything. Play Doom on an Etch-a-Sketch. You can play Doom on an opened up tennis ball. You open a tennis ball and there's a screen with the original Doom on it, and you use another tennis ball as the controller. You could probably play it on the back of a speeding walrus. Walruses don't speed. Great random animal generation, Ewan. That was really well done. You should do this professionally. I should. Patreon.com/Ewan. Oh, you could play it on anything though. You could probably get it to play on a cat's dream. You could play the original Fallout on a cat's dream. Do androids dream of electric sheep? I don't know, but I know cats dream about nuclear fallout. Crawl out through the fallout. You know what I mean. I don't consider myself to have ADD, but every now and then, no, I don't have ADD. Do you know who has ADD, DHDD, HDTV? Stupid people, that's who. People who can't just sit down and concentrate on a task. What absolute fucking idiots and morons. Stupid people. Them and the dyslexics. All a bunch of stupid people. Oh, I have difficulty concentrating. Shut up! Fucking shh! I'm only joking. It's alright, it's just a joke. I was only joking. I didn't mean you. I meant all the other people, the bad ones. Not you. You're one of the good ones. If you're watching this and you've got ADD or ADHD, you're one of the good. Oh, I didn't mean you. Nah, not you. Oh, I couldn't mean you. You're the good one. You're one of the good ones that have that problem. Everyone else is the bad ones. Oh, not you. You're the good. Oh, yeah. I would never say. So I don't think I could get. I can't. I don't have the capabilities of playing Fallout London. It's not available on console, and even if it was, you've got to like downgrade because of the Fallout 4 update that ruined Fallout 4 apparently. But it looks good though, and I wish I could play it because it looks really, really good. Which is a shame that I can't play it because it looks really good. And that's basically all I wanted to say. I've been watching videos of people play it, and it's been interesting because I don't watch too many streamers like regularly, streamers or video game YouTubers or whatever, but there's a couple I watch now and again, depending on if they're playing anything good or if I can tolerate the dumb noises they make. There's me being me talking about not being able to tolerate people's voices and the noises they make. Imagine that. Can you imagine being intolerably annoying to the point that you don't want to watch someone's content, or that people don't want to watch your content? I get those comments a lot. I'm aware. Don't. Like, you watch my videos and you go, your art's good, but you're fucking annoying. I hate your voice. I wish you'd shut up. Yeah? Try living with that. Try being that person and having to live like that. Try living as that person. All this shit I'm saying now, all this whole thing, you could play it on it, you could play it on your fridge, you could do this, you could do that. That's my internal monologue. That's just what's in my head on a day-to-day basis. Not specifically about Fallout and whatnot, but that sort of thing. I have to live with that. So next time you're about to comment saying, "Oh, your voice is really annoying. Good artwork, though. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment about my artwork. That's what actually is important." But just bear in mind, you're not just commenting on my voice or how I talk. You're commenting on literally how I live my life. I don't want to necessarily. I do. It's really funny. It makes me feel better than everyone else because I know I'm hilarious all of the time. Not really, but I hate this arm. I don't like it at all. Maybe it doesn't like me. Maybe we've got common ground there. I don't know what I'm doing with this hair either. It's shit. Oh, this was supposed to be a really good drawing of gunfighting. I mean, it's going to turn into a painting. It's going to magically turn into a painting. Some of the people I watch playing Fallout London, which is really good, by the way. They made a mod for Fallout 4 in Fallout 4's engine, and they've basically created a large portion of London to like run around in, and it's post-apocalyptic, and it's all the bits and stuff that you'd expect from all the Fallout, but it's all like British. They got British things, British snacks and treats and monsters and junk and places and shit. And that's part of the fun of watching, because some people I watch play video games are American, some are English. So it's been interesting watching the English people play it and go, oh, it's London, it's this place that I know from having been there or living there currently. It's this place. That looks like it does in real life. This looks like it does in real life. And this leads to here, and that's this, and this is this item, and these items, and these creatures, and based on this. And a womble, there's a fucking womble! Try to explain to an American what a fucking womble is. Go on, good luck. And it's interesting to see that, because we all do that, don't we? You go on Google Maps and you go, oh look, that's where I live, and so it has that sort of feel to it of like, it's Fallout London. You know, you see London get made in a few video games. Drive was one, GTA London, but it was like top down and it wasn't really. Assassin's Creed, I think, did it in one of the games. But you know, to have a very modern game like Fallout. Even if it's fan-made, it's very, very well fan-made. Years and years in the making. And again, the fucking thing, the Fallout 4 next-gen update fucked it all up. To have it with London, and you can run around London and be Mr. Fallout in London. It's quite cool. So then, the other side of that is it's fun to watch Americans play it, because they spend half the time going, what? What's that? Well, no, they go, what? What's going on? Dude, what's this? What's that? Trafalgar? Oh, I'm at Trafalgar Square. Huh? Greenwich. Oh, look, I got to Greenwich Station. Dude, what a bet. Why does everyone sound so funny? God, everyone keeps saying the word cunt. Why does everyone say the word cunt? That's my impression of every American. But it's funny because it's a fairly typical thing, but you know, American culture being so fucking pervasive as it is, you can't escape it. We all over the world, in England and whatever else, we grow up watching American television and movies, The Simpsons and whatever, so we're accustomed to American culture. Like, we get it. We know you say sidewalk and the hood of the car and other American ways of talking which are dumb compared to the proper British way of talking. But we grow up and we know, so if we hear an American talk about American things, we get it. We understand because we've grown up with that. But the opposite isn't really true. If there's British shit on American telly, it's usually like Downton Abbey and that kind of shit, which is just fucking silly nonsense. So when British people play, I made a meme about this actually, I haven't posted it anywhere, but I made it. When British people play the regular Fallout games, they go, oh hey, cool, it's post-apocalyptic, and there's this, and it's that, and there's things, and there's stuff, and then yeah, I get it, cool. And Americans play it, and they go, cool. And then British people play Fallout London, and they go, oh hey, it's England, and there's this, and it's tea cakes, and telephones, and oh, post boxes that are different from other places. And then Americans, who don't grow up on British culture, play Fallout London, they go, what's going on? I don't understand anything. It is funny. It is funny. Oh, that would have been a good point to end this bit of the episode, wouldn't it? To go, what? Oh, I'm going to do something else now. But I haven't finished doing what I was planning to do initially. Is that Gun Viking? Oh yeah, it's fucking Gun Viking. I'll give you some Gun Viking, you silly cunt. Yeah, I'm drawing Gun Viking. This is going to be a cover. Do you know why? Why? Because so I was looking at that Slain, the big Slain book, and I was thinking, I want to do something with Gun Viking. I want to paint some Gun Viking, and I want to get it out there. I want to get it published. And so I was thinking 2000 AD is what I was thinking in my head. And I was like, if I could just get my foot in the door and be like, listen, here's this Gun Viking, let's do it. But I was like, I need to... They do their stories in 6-page increments, typically. And so I was thinking in my head about the first bit of Gun Viking. It could work if it was in 6 pages. And I was like, it needs to have a start and a finish, 6 pages that I could put together to be as a promotional piece, like a portfolio piece, to be like, this is my promo for Gun Viking, to get you into it. Whatever the fuck that was. And so I picked up Gun Viking number 1, and I was like, right, how does this work? And so I looked at the first page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I realised that is a perfect 6-page introduction to Gun Viking. Start off, poff, this guy getting his fucking brains blown out, poor sod that he is. And then you get Gun Viking blasting a load of people apart. This guy's got his head blown off. That's what he does. This guy's got a hole in his head. He's dead, I guess. There's people attacking him and he's shooting them. And then it's just pow, shoot, blam, pop, bash, push, bash. And it's just all guns blazing and people dying, getting blown to pieces. And then a pile of bodies, Gun Viking in front of them triumphantly. They were fools to think they could stand against the Gun Viking. That's the intro. You get this, action, 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 and then a little quiet, and it's the titles come up if it was a movie or whatever, Gun Viking. And then if it was 2000 AD, you have a little thing here saying, story and art by Ewan, whatever. And then cut to, it's over, your men are for naught. Those are not my men. These are my men, as a hand comes out of the pile of corpses. And then close on this, continued next episode, next issue, whatever, a gaggle of zombie warriors, Draugr type fuckers all ready for action. They're gonna fucking kill. And then of course you get into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next 7 pages could make a really good bit where you start off with the zombies looking at Gun Viking and who's going to shoot them and it don't work, and he picks up the weapons and he puts them in the cannon and he blasts them and then they chop them to pieces and they go, you can't stop the mountain king. Wind noise. Continued next episode. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next 7 pages. Yeah, it could work in, even this first issue completely coincidentally could work in 6 to 7 page increments if it was in 2000 AD, for instance. So I thought what I could do, because the artwork isn't bad and I like it for what it is, but I don't feel it's representative of what I'm currently capable of. And if I'm going to send it out as a promo piece, I feel it should be, an example of what I can do if I sit down and do it today. Also, if by some magic fucking flash of good luck it should get picked up and published anywhere, my idea would be to start from scratch, do it all anew, maybe get an actual writer on board to write and adapt the story so it works a bit better, but it would be whole new artwork, maybe follow the same basic plot but starting from scratch and being fresh, brand new Gun Viking. That would be the idea. So I thought the sensible thing to do then would be to get those 6 pages. So I've got so that's page 1. Redrew it a bit. It's a bit different, but it's not too different. It's Puff and he's got his head blown out. Page 2, silhouette from behind, kind of blasting. Basically the same, but redrawn. And then I've got just the roughs for the next few pages because I haven't traced those up or anything yet. Page 3, so I've changed like the angle of his arm and made it a bit more how I'd do it now. People getting blown apart, I'll make those a bit better, pull those in a bit maybe. And then page 4, pile of bodies, gun Viking in front, the text coming up and everything. And then it's over, your men are for naught. Those aren't my men. These, I changed this a little bit because before I had like a finger coming out of the body and then a hand and then the zombies. But what I think would be better is to have a hand come out of the bodies and then a zombie climbing out of the corpse. And then the zombie sort of warriors here looking all dangerous and triumphant. Zoomed in a bit so they appear a little bit bigger on the page and then continue to... And that would be a perfect 6-page little fucking thing. And also, so this would be my idea if it was like, you could have 2000 AD here and then a little bit text saying like, are you ready for the Norse power of the gun Viking or whatever, and then gun Viking on the front cover of, crop it about here I think, and then white into blue into purple and blue lighting, painting and stuff on the tin, and some like maybe some shells around him. Luckily and fortunately, I did finally manage to get my hands on this. Oh boy, is this good. I mentioned it before. Only joking. Ha ha ha. I know. I'm just going to look through this. I've already looked through this, but it's one of those ones where like I knew I had it. I didn't forget about it, but it was a little bit out of sight, out of mind, as it was under a pile of other shit. And I was looking through that pile of other shit. Just a couple of days ago, I was moving books looking for a thing, and I saw this, and I was like, oh wow, well not wow, but oh hey, there's that. I love this shit. This is, next time I put out a book, like a decent, proper, solid art book, this is what I want it, the almost the exact proportions I want it to be. Like, smaller sort of scale, but thick and good. Maybe of paintings. I like the idea of that. This is Terada Katsuya. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's Japanese, I believe. Which I think is actually, that would be his first name and last name. I think that's how they do it. I could be entirely wrong. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I sit here and I draw and I say the word penis and cunt a lot. The words penis and cunt a lot, I suppose. And he draws a lot. He draws a lot. So we're just going to look through every single page of this. There's penises. Oh, I didn't notice that before. Are they both his? Are they... Whoa. Well, no, this one's sort of facing, and that one's facing that. Yeah, fine. Cool. I like these books because they can be inspirational, because it's inspirational just to like see drawings. That's why, not why, but it sort of feeds into why I really, really dislike AI for a lot of reasons. A lot of like the moral implications and stealing people's art and it just not being good in general. Like the art that AI makes, a small percent of it is actually like good, but even then it's usually because it's basically based on someone else's pre-existing artwork and style and everything. But for me, the main failing of AI art is it's not made by people. But that's one of the reasons I love looking at art. Just that's all I do. Hours upon hours, hundreds of hours of this podcast and whatever else, just spent drawing and looking at drawings and paintings and whatever else. Just absorbing art is knowing a person made it, looking at something like these drawings and just going, a person sat and drew that. How would I do? How would I look how he drew this hair? Like this. I'm not going to draw on the book, or maybe I will. Ugh. this hair is like one lump here, one bigger lump here with a twist in it, and then a sort of lump here that splits off into a few more lumps or clumps or whatever. Like, because that's sometimes when I draw hair, I try to draw like the hairs, but you really should draw it in like clumps with some strands drawn in that or like hinted at, and then a few straggly bits. That's really nice, like curvy, like wave over wave over wave of hair. So knowing that a person sat there and drew that, and if it's paintings, they sat there and painted that or whatever. I love looking at, you know, Simon Bisley's painted comics because they're insane that they exist like that. And he sat there and fucking painted all of that. Drew it and he thought about it. Drew it and he painted it. It's really, 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 really fucking good. And I like looking at it and reverse engineering it almost, figuring out how, what layers, what colours, what brush strokes, what materials were used in the creation of all those images and things. And AI, you look at it and go, oh, a computer program sort of stole a few bits of artwork and mushed them together and made a thing. Oh, but look, it's South Park as if it was an 80s sitcom. Oh. I don't care. I wouldn't care about South Park as an 80s sitcom if it was made by a person. It's South Park's fine as it is. You don't need to fucking... But AI art is just like, oh, cool, a space scene with like it's a thing. Oh, it's like a giant angel with a dragon, and oh, it's in space. Oh, wow, all of the lights and the. It's like watching a film that's like entirely CGI that doesn't need to be entirely CGI. They could easily have made the sets and the props and the costumes and shot the action scenes, but because of budgets and unions and whatever, they did it all CGI. And it's just boring to watch because it's like, well, why would you not just put the effort in? So the fact that people make shit is what makes it interesting. The image that comes out of it, like when I look at the Horned God again and again and again, the imagery looks cool and that's great, like it's well made, but I'm more impressed by the fact that a person made it. That's what makes it interesting. That's like, it looks cool, sure, it tells a story, I guess. I wouldn't know, I've still not read it. The interesting and intriguing and attractive thing about it is that it's made by persons, which AI just fucking stinks because of that. But that's why, so I like looking at stuff like this, because it's all just stuff that a person has sitted and drawn and made it, and it's not all like the best, wildest, craziest, most interesting stuff, but just looking at art that people have made can be hugely inspiring, just to know that these are all just drawn by a person. That's wild and crazy and creative in itself. But also, I like to find inspiration in small things, like just to, because there's a lot of ideas just in here, like a sad duck man in dungarees, and then a naked woman in leggings or tights or something, and then she's got, well, she's not naked, half naked, I guess. She's got boobs, that's good, and a little like dog toy or something like that. Little dog toy could be used as an idea. Naked women, and just even that pose, you could like go, oh, that's quite a cool pose, let me use that for something. A sad duck man in dungarees. Or you might look at this picture and go, oh shit, dungarees, that gives me an idea for something else. For, you know, if you were thinking about a character you want to draw but you can't quite figure out what costume or clothing to put them in, you've tried a few different things and you're like, no, I don't know. You might flip open to this page in this book randomly and go, oh shit, dungarees, that could work for the thing. It could not, it could be fucking nothing. Look, a giant frog robot over a city with minimal line work really, but you get the idea. That could be inspirational. Or it might be that like animal heads on people, that's a cool thing. Or it might be something like the head from this angle, because it's quite an awkward angle to draw the head at, and you might see that and go, oh shit, that's the kind that would work for a thing. Or you just straight up trace it and use it in a comic that you're doing, like change it enough that it doesn't look exactly like it's traced, like some artists. Tortoise skeleton, kind of, part skeleton, part not. That's cool. That's fucking badass. Shit. Find inspiration everywhere. I find it mostly in porn. Sometimes with animals. With a horse and a woman getting in the horse and it comes all over. All the old naked people. That's funny. Old naked ladies. That is funny. I have a few ideas for forthcoming Butvember projects. Instagram is as such is in such a way that I'm starting to get a bit worried about posting that stuff with all like the warnings and stuff getting deleted and removed. So sadly, I'm a bit unsure whether I'm going to be able to properly continue with Butvember and the like. Decemboobs is all but gone because that's not even worth trying really. But a bunch of old people's body parts could be fun. I need to find models. There's photos online, but I prefer to draw like live models where I can or whatever. That's a really cool like monkey face, and that's good as well because that's like hatching with a drawing pen is way different to hatching. Well, not way different, but quite different to hatching with a ballpoint pen. And that's a good example of with a drawing pen. You get different lines than you would, because you can't like fade as much with like a drawing pen as you can with a ballpoint pen. So you have to be really careful with the hatching. But that's really, really cool. I like that. And I like that this book is a big mix of stuff. There's like more rendered pieces like that and that and that. Yeah, girls with robotics and shit on their heads. We get it. How many of those do you fucking need? Jesus Christ with that shit. I love stuff like this. Just things and things. Just animals, all just stuff going on. Bunch of look at that, it's a dog and it's like man head and it's all robotics and a bit of stuff here. What's going on? That's really cool. This stuff is a little bit like leaning almost into being a little bit too random. Like not like lol random, haha, that's so funny, raw XD. But a little bit of just like, I'll draw this and then, I don't know, a dog and then like a dog horse thing with a bird's head and just some stuff. Like, there's no reason you shouldn't draw that, but it's just, it reminds me personally, I think, too much of like my teenage years, where I would very purposely draw the most random things I could think of, which thus made them less random. They just appeared random, and people would look at the drawings and go, "Ah, that's so random, that's so funny." So nowadays, maybe even to my detriment, I feel like my drawings, I almost crave some kind of structure or reason in my drawings. Even if it doesn't look like there's a reason or a structure to it, I feel like it needs to be like if I draw like a goblin and then an animal behind it, there's got to be a relationship between those two things. Like, why is there, like, it will be a pig, for instance. It has to be a pig because goblins and pigs, well, there's no reason, but they fit well together. Like if I did a goblin and then behind him there was like a greyhound dog, it would be like, why is there a greyhound behind him? Like, what? Like, maybe to you that feels like it could work, but to me personally, my feels, my feelies, and my thoughts and my feelies feel like that. For instance, a goblin and a greyhound don't feel like they fit together too well. So if I drew that, it would be a bit random. It would feel a bit random and a bit like unproper. But at the same time, if maybe, yeah, well, not at the same time, but like I said, it may be to my detriment, because if I'm able to free myself from that and just draw a bunch of random shit, bit of a face, and it's like a robot head with an ear and like a thing and all the bits, and a bit of an alligator head, bit of a bird head, and all these are attached to the little bits, and then, you know, maybe I'd come up with more interesting artwork. That's really cool, dragon head. I really, really like that dragon head. I like the line work and like the line weight. The little girl's cool. It's quite a nice little like juxtaposition. That's a classic juxtaposition, isn't it? The little girl and big monster pairing, like just in general. That's or little person and then big monster. That's quite a classic pairing in general in like art and fiction and stuff. Monsters Inc. has that kind of, and then there's like My Neighbor Totoro and a bunch of other shit. Anime does it a lot. I actually thought fairly recently of doing a version of that, because you see so many parodies of like that Totoro specifically, the image where it's like the girl, whatever her fucking name is, and then Totoro with the umbrella, and then like that, but the thing's a demon and she's like an anime girl or like whatever. I thought about doing a funny version of that where the small one is like some gnarly, gangly, horrible monster, and then the big one is just a big, fat, chunky girl that's like 5 times the little monster's size. I thought that could be quite fun. That's a cool fucking barbarian, man. I love the lines in there. Loads and loads and loads of lines, but nothing gets lost. For instance, something like this. It's quite a lot of lines going on, and it almost gets lost a bit. Maybe not, maybe a bit. But in that, there's clear definition, and you can see what's going on. Animal heads and the furs and shit, and his glove and the phone. Maybe I'm talking fucking nonsense. I don't know. I don't care. I also like that there's obviously like life drawings in here. That's clearly drawn from life and or a photo. Maybe not and, but either from a photo or from life. And then there's imaginary stuff. Oh, her arms like see-through with a bit going in the... Oh. So this book is really good, really inspirational. This is the sort of book I pick up, look through for 5 minutes, and I just want to draw. Right now, I want to draw. I won't, because I have other things I'm doing. But and then by the time I've done those other things, I won't want to draw anymore. And then I'll pick up this book to sort of like make myself want to draw. But it won't work anymore. It would have worn off. That's cool. Really atmospheric little like almost like storyboard image almost, isn't it? Or like a comic book panel, but some creepy thing on a rock in a place. Ooh. I like designs on shirts as well. I like when artists do that. They just have the guy in a shirt or clothing, whatever, and they just draw like random shit on it for designs. Like, I've seen it done badly, but I've also seen it done really, really well, and that's quite a cool one of those. I like the little scene as well. And this book's also good because it's got like, there's bits where there's different paper. This is like a completely different type of paper to this, and then there's bits with glossy paper, bits with colour. This is quite glossy with black ink, and then the blue ink bits are quite cool. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. Monkey man. That's like the Journey to the West ape fucking thing, innit? And this guy, what's his problem? Oh, he's not happy, is he? But yeah, it's inspirational. And that's what I hope my books do. I hope people pick up my books and my zines and my comics and they go, hey, wow, look, a person made this and it's the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I wish I could be like Ewan. And then they try and draw like me. And they fail because they're shit. No one's as good as me. I really like that dragon. He does good dragons, does our Mr. Terada. Terada. Katsuya. Katsuya Terada. Hey. It's random stuff. Girl with a robot helmet thing and a branch in the holder for the branch with a pig. Hat and a goggle and this. But it's cool. It makes for good imagery. Like, it's good shapes as well. He's really good at like creating forms out of all of this stuff. It's almost like collage, but drawing. Where he's like cutting and pasting random bits and like sort of moving them around until they fit into like a pleasing kind of curve. There's something almost fish-like about that, like jellyfish or squid or something. And yeah, that's the case. Like, not always, but for a lot of his pieces. Like, even that, the composition of that's really nice, like downward thing. Just yeah, good shapes and compositions and stuff. It's really, really good. Imagine that. Imagine this professional artist being really, really good. That's really nice. I love apes. I should do a comic about one that works in a library. That'd be really, really fun. I was replaying Fallout 4 recently. I think the whole Fallout London thing has sort of got me in the mood for it. So I was replaying it. I had a selection of mods on to try to make the game feel some kind of new or different. But then I got to that bit and I sort of had to go along with it. The bit with the what does he say? Oh, have your tea back, you jackanapes. And then, you know, there's that whole like quest line, that whole line of missions with the tea, where you've got to like get the tea and have your tea back, you jackanapes. And then there's the whole quest to like get the tea, and you've got to get the tea back to the is it the harbour you got to get it to, because that's, you know, that's where they did it's the Boston Tea Party, isn't it? That's what happened in life, and they threw the tea in the water. So you've got they put that in the game, the whole that quest line with the tea, and it's all get the tea. You know, the bit with that bit in Fallout 4 with the tea. You've got to get the tea in Fallout 4. You know that because when you're playing Fallout 4, and then it's like right at the start, there's a bit in the you know, the museum where there's Preston, we meet him and the Minutemen, and they're all, and then there's that bit where you go through that bit of the museum, and it's like there's the recording, have your tea back, you and then that sparks the quest line for the tea. You know, that bit with the that was funny when I did that before, wasn't it? Maybe it'll be funny if I do it again. So my plan was was for a minute with this whole Gun Viking 6-page reissue thing was to just hound 2000 AD with it, to just send it to them again and again and again until they take some kind of legal action against me to get me to stop fucking doing that, or B, they accept it and they can you imagine how fucking cool it would be to like open up 2000 AD and read new Gun Viking comics? That might be the same, but you know, for all intents and purposes, new Gun Viking in the pages of 2000 AD. It would fit so well, and the art would be cool. It would just look fucking great. And in the 6-page thing, I was thinking, because if 6 pages and I get it printed up like a mini thing with, like I said, the cover, and I'll put the 2000 AD logo on there, and I'll make it look as if it was a brand new 2000 AD prog, as they call them, featuring Gun Viking, and then there's the first 6 pages of a new Gun Viking, and send it to them. But stick in a couple of extra pages just to fill it up, because it needs to be a multiple of 4. I thought one page on the back could be a collage of Gun Viking fan art that people have made. That I've got a thing on my Instagram of like a story highlight reel thing or whatever, and put on the top Gun Viking fan art from all over the world, just to say, like, listen, look, there's fan art of Gun Viking. People will love it. It's great. And also on the front cover, I'll put the quote. "We like gun Viking," quote Jim Rugg from Cartoonist Kayfabe, because that's a thing. That's the thing. That's what they said in a video while talking about gun Viking. So I'll use that as a quote to like really, sort of try to promote and show off gun Viking as much as I possibly can. However, it was maybe not even a minute after me thinking about all of this that I realised that almost certainly won't be possible, because things just aren't the way they used to be. Gone are the days when a Simon Bisley could show someone a picture of a robot holding a baby that he drew and then get like a lifetime's worth of work because they fall in love with him instantly. Like, that just doesn't happen. I know he knew some people beforehand or met some people and then they saw his artwork and then he sent them some stuff. I know it's not as straightforward as that, but gone are those days, because I don't know if it's since 2000 AD were bought out by Rebellion Entertainment or whatever, a big fucking conglomerate. But it used to be the case that 2000 AD and all those types of like comics and magazines and things, in like usually in the inner front page of the comic, they'd have all the contact details, like the art director and the addresses of the editor and the different people who work at the place. But that's just not a thing anymore. And if you go on their website and look for like contact information, all they have is like an email submission form where it doesn't even have like their email address. You just fill in the form, it goes to them, and if they decide to reply to you to your included email address, then maybe they will. So you can't even like email them randomly. You can only do it through the means that they dictate, which is, I mean, I get it, it's just the way it goes, but they outright say they don't accept unsolicited submissions. And I think I read somewhere before where they don't like people sending their own ideas for new comics, because then, again, it makes sense and I do get it, but that's like, because if they then come out with a comic that's even similar to an idea that someone sent in, then potentially, not that it could open them up to like legal issues, but that person would then think they have rights to that idea because they had a similar idea that they sent in. And I do have to think about that sort of thing with like, if I am going to send out like Gun Viking as a thing, if I send that to a publisher to be like, hey, publish Gun Viking, and then they go no, and then they come up with their own version of Gun Viking that's like really similar but just different enough that there's plausible deniability or whatever, that could happen. I doubt it would, but you could. But it's just it's a shame that, like, again, for all of this, I understand why the systems are the way they are. Mostly it's money, but you can't just send them your comics and be like, I make these comics, it would be really cool if I could make comics for you. Because even if it's like, if it was more like back in the day, they just ignore you, or maybe send you a letter saying, hey, thanks, your artwork's good, but it's not what we're looking for right now. The basic fucking rejection letters I've gotten a billion times. Even that would be something, but you can't even do that now because they don't have like a listed address that you can send stuff to. Not even an email address I could send a PDF to. So my aim now is to still do this thing, get this 6-page Gun Viking thing printed up, like I say, as a promo thing just to have. And then if I'm ever at a convention where there are industry folk around, I'll have it with me and I can drop it off somewhere, or I can just send it to people who might know people who might know people. I am followed on Instagram by a few currently published artists and writers of 2000 AD comics. I've had comments from a few, like on my pieces, like, hey, this is really cool or whatever. So it may be possible that I can hit someone up and be like, hey, any chance you can name drop me and mention this gun Viking thing. Oh, also, if I were to send it out, this 6-page gun Viking new thing, I would also include at least one page, or just like a pin-up of Judge Dredd, like a painting of Dredd, just to be like, oh, also I can draw Judge Dredd. If you don't want to use my comic, I can draw yours, I guess. I'd rather not, but I can if necessary. Or maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should only say I'll work on my own comics and nothing else. But yeah, I might be able to get it into someone's hands somewhere via someone. I don't know. It's just a shame. I'm sure if I had, for instance, like 100,000 followers on Instagram, and I got in touch with 2000 AD, if I just sent them a message to be like, hey, let's work together, I'm sure then they'd be like, oh yeah, we'd love to, that would be great. Make sure you mention us to your followers. And then I'd be doing them a favour. Them getting all new sales because of me. I also have this, sort of daydream in my head that they publish like one short gun Viking story just to test the waters, and then like that issue of the comic sells, hundreds of thousands of copies more than it normally would, and then they're like, oh, in that case, yeah, climb aboard, Ewan. Let's work. Let's do something. And this is all, I've had pipe dreams like this very often on the podcast. I've mentioned things like it before, but I need some kind of income outside of Instagram, because Instagram can't last forever, and even these days it's just like it's getting harder and harder to keep commissions and work coming in through Instagram. So like I do try, I do send stuff out, I contact, publishers and things, but rejection, that's just how it goes. But all I can do is try, so this is another avenue of me trying something to get somewhere somehow, maybe to try something. I don't know. That's all I can do, and it's all I can do is try. Also, it might look cool. A new gun Viking. People might like that. Not really new gun Viking. It's old gun Viking, but it's renewed gun Viking. I've thought about doing that for a while, like recreating the first issue with my current day skills or whatever, just to see how it looks. And to change things I might not have been happy with originally or whatever. Because it could just be fun, and it could make for an interesting little like project, and it could look cool, couldn't it? Maybe, I don't know. It's just not the same. It's not how it was back in the day. Because that's the problem, is you grow up I did anyway, in that sort of period of time where it was like, send your work out to as many places as possible and hopefully someone gets in touch. But that just isn't the case nowadays. I think you need to be like headhunted or whatever, literally, with a gun. They have to hunt you down, and then you can work with them. But unless that happens, you ain't getting shit. My dream used to be, I've spoken about this one before, I wanted, like when I was young, my dream was to be like a published, proper Spider-Man comic artist. That was like the thing I wanted to do, was I wanted to draw Spider-Man comics. And I mean, my wanting to work for Marvel has decreased hugely over the years, especially in recent years with Disney being what they are and whatnot. Um, but also in more recent years, becoming more of a fan of certain aspects of 2000 AD and their library of works. If I had a dream, if I could press a button and have any one like art thing come true, I think it would be to have an ongoing series of Gun Viking within the pages of 2000 AD. Like, I can't think of much more right now that would like make me remotely happy than that. Like, if I could walk into the local comic book store, or even they sell it in like news agents or whatever, and there's just like a cover with Gun Viking on it, and I open up the thing and there's 6 pages of Gun Viking story, co-written by me, mostly written by someone who actually writes, who can actually write. And it's ongoing, and it's they publish the trade paperbacks when there's enough stories to put into one big book, and then the next story arc and the next story arc, and that's the dream. Like anything, it's like, yes, that's a nice dream, and that's a nice idea. Wouldn't that be lovely if that happened? Of course, we all know it. Not to say it won't happen. Stranger things have happened, like the TV show. All I can think about is that Thistlebone story that I've looked at, the little book, comic series, whatever that I've looked at. They're like, I know it's made by old heads that had contributed to 2000 AD for years and years and years previously, but the story itself sort of feels like it came out of nowhere. I'm sure that wasn't the case. It probably was in the works for years before it got the green light and then got put into practice. But that goes to show that they are still creating new IPs or whatever. They are still making new stories with new characters in new worlds. So it's not like, if you want your work in 2000 AD, it has to be Judge Dredd or Slain or whatever else they put out. And some of the other shit, that black and white story I was looking at when I was looking at the 2000 AD issues the other week, just stuff like that gets published, and it's like, why? Shit looks boring. The themes are boring. Just make a cool fucking comic about a Viking with guns and let me draw all of it. And I expect to be paid for the work, sure, but I'm not remotely thinking like, and then I'll be rich and famous. Like, I just want to have the comics in the thing. It would be nice to be paid so I can afford to live while I'm making those comics. And if I'm going to be paid, it should be at least, if it's just my work, the writer, the artist, the colorist, the letterer. But that's completely by the by. I just want to fucking put it out there. I just want to make it happen. But no. You've got to be, I guess, what they called grandfathered in. What they call grandfathered in. You've got to be somebody. You've got to have a name. You can't just drop out of nowhere with a brand new idea and expect them to... Which I as I've said already again and again, I understand, I get it. Because money, they're not just going to take a chance on some random comic about a Viking with guns from someone who really hasn't paid his dues. His juice, his whatever. Just some guy out there making his own little comics. You've got to be somebody, and you've got to put in the work, and you've got to become known and show that you can do the thing, and you're going to... One day. I'll say that much. It'll happen one day. One day. I'll fucking...